It's Jamila. I'm in my hotel room in Destin, Florida at the Sandestin Golf and Beach Resort. Finally on a vacation just to regroup and get started with whatever's next in my life, which is going to be really exciting. So today I want to talk about no slip braids. I have box braids, they're individual braids. They're a month old. However, I've refreshed the edges. As you can see, those look brand new again. I just took out the first row and rebraided them. But here's a small detail that could be very helpful to keep them from slipping out, since I'm getting in the pool and the ocean, and I'm going to get wet multiple times. So the weight of the water sometimes causes slippage. And also just the texture of hair sometimes causes slippage. If you have really fine hair, or your client has really fine silky hair or freshly relaxed hair, sometimes braids slip. There's all different reasons. But one way to make them stay in is the technique that I use, and I actually put a teeny tiny cornrow right at the beginning of it. So if you look at my braids, these don't look like cornrows, right? I have all the flexibility. I can move them around. I can style it. Doesn't look like a cornrow. That's because I decided which direction that I wanted my hair to go before I began braiding it. I knew I was going to pull it back and down, so I actually made my partings go the direction of the style. So it adds, it makes it look neater, first of all, but it also gives me a direction to braid my cornrow that does not look like a cornrow. It just looks like a braid. So I have two little squares left here. I've done all the rest of the edges, you know, in the direction, the diagonal, going down and back towards my ponytail. And I'm going to part it. Now, I'm using not a comb to part. This is another way to speed up your time. I use whatever tool I'm using to hold the hair out of the way. I use that to part. So this is a bobby pin because I didn't have any two-prong clips or single-prong clips. So I'm parting my hair with this bobby pin because that's what I have. There's my nice straight part, and this hair that I'm not braiding, I'm going to pull it out of the way, pin it back with my bobby pin. Then I use a pomade. I'm using like a clear kind of soft gel that doesn't make the hair hard to define my part. And then I direct the hair the way that I want my braid to go before I ever braid anything. So I got my hair going the direction I want. Checked it in the mirror, following my diagonal, and I'm pulling it that way, so it's already ready to go that way. And then I take my extension hair. Yes, I'm reusing Kanekalon hair. I just took it out and I'm putting it back in. You can replace it with fresh hair, but I didn't want to carry it, so I'm just using what I have. Okay, got my Kanekalon hair ready. And then I'm actually going to lay the hair right at my hairline on the scalp, the direction that I want it to fall. So it's already falling that way. Every motion, you know, every direction I push hair or move it is all contributing to the same goal, which is to have my braid lay the direction of my ponytail. So I put a teeny tiny cornrow. That one's not that good. Okay, I'm going to take it back out because I didn't get it close enough to the edge. I want it to start right at the edge of my hairline. So I take a very, very small piece. If you can see how small my beginning piece is. A very, very small piece. And I start right at the edge of my hairline. And I'm just doing 1, 2. Wait, my hair is caught right here. And I just detangle it with my fingers. See how I'm holding it right on the scalp because I don't want to have to start my braid over. On the other hand, I'm using to detangle. 3, 4, and now I am off the scalp. So now it's an individual braid from this point on, but I have maybe a 1/4 inch of cornrow. Doesn't look like cornrow, does it? And the rest is an individual braid, and I'm still holding it the direction that I want the braid to go so that it'll be consistent and I can continue the same tension all the way down. So once I get it far enough away, just because this is really awkward, I flip the braid over and I did do my quick braiding technique to finish my braid. I add a little product because I have a few hairs sticking out here. A little bit of product. And then I finish it to the end. And whenever the amounts of hair in the 3 sections is not even, I just divide it again so that I have the same amount of hair in each section. The key is to keep the tension consistent, because if I divide the hair without holding the same tension, I get a lump in my braid. I do have a little lump here. See, that's exactly what I did. I divided the hair again without changing it. So, made a little lump. I pulled it out. I'm just going to cut this off. See? It's a cornrow at the base. Doesn't look like it. Individual braid, and I'm just going to tuck this right into my ponytail. And my style is almost finished. I have one last section. And again, see, the part's already there. I'm going to take my product and define my part and smooth my hair. I'm actually pulling a little bit of product through my hair just because it's dry. This is not always necessary. Oh, and it's a little tangled. Now this knot, let's talk about that knot. That little knot, that little puff. This is hair that's shed off my scalp. It's really normal for hair to shed maybe 30, I think it's between 30 and 40 hairs a day is average. That actually separates from your scalp. So this is a long hair. See how it stretches all the way out? It's a long hair. And the entire hair comes out. That's called shedding. That's normal and that's healthy. And when your hair is in braids, the hair stays because you never comb it out. This hair actually has to be combed out. So when I pulled through it, the hair that had already shed from my scalp made a ball or a knot at the end of my hair. It's very important before you ever shampoo your hair after you have extension styles to comb the shed hair out. That's what those knots and those balls are. It's not your hair falling out. It's just normal shedding. So now I'm going to go back to my cornrow. My hair is nice and detangled since I pulled the product through it this time. My last braid, and I'm going to the beach. I'm excited. I haven't been on a vacation in 2 years, and I haven't been on a vacation away from my children in 4 years. So I'm a little pumped about anything. So again, I'm taking the hair and I'm laying it the direction that I want it to go. And I'm putting a small cornrow here, right as close to the part, as close to my scalp as I can get. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I made 3 revolutions, and now I am off the scalp. So I'm doing my individual braid back the direction of my ponytail. And I think that's enough hair where I can flip it back the direction to do my fast braid. All done. This is a technique that can be applied to any extension style, to kinky twists, to Senegalese twists, to micro braids, box braids, you know, big chunky Havana twists. The key is that before you start, you just have to have the direction that you want the hair to lay. And if you're doing this on a client, you can just ask them if they like the hair, you know, to be fuller on one side, if they like it directed to the right or directed to the left, or do they want it just even with no part? Do they want it to go straight back? And it's just a question you can ask your client, and then you can direct the hair that way. And that'll keep them from coming back in a week or 2 for you to replace the braids or twists that were slipping. Okay, all done. And now I am beach ready. Again, this is Jamila. You can follow me. I'd love if you comment or ask more questions for me to discuss, answer. I'd love to answer your questions. I have a blog called Jewel Beauty Wellness, where I discuss everything that applies to natural hair and just general health and well-being. So fire away with your questions, comments, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.